Hey everyone, welcome to the latest episode of the Custom Lobby. I'm your host JT, and with me, as per usual, is Justin. Justin, it has been a minute since we did the last episode. I know life has been keeping us both busy, but I'm really looking forward to talking about this conversation. And I know you're very excited. Why don't you just take it away, my friend?
Oh yeah, true. This is actually take two. Funny enough, we kind of botched the intro the first time. You can tell we're a little rusty, but it's okay.
A little rusty. Yeah.
So today we're talking about Arc Raiders, everyone's favorite game of the year. Just kidding. No, Expedition 33 is getting that one, but we can talk about that and so much more. First off, I kind of just wanted to bring up like this is kind of a really important time for this genre of extraction shooters. Everyone, they're kind of the craze right now. Lots of different games coming out. Arc Raiders obviously being the big one. Tarkov 1.0 comes out at the time of this recording, comes out literally in less than 7 hours. Like the game's about to drop. 1.0 is about to drop. So it's a big time for extraction shooters in general. We're mostly going to be talking about Arc Raiders, but we might bring up some other ones just because the genre is really relevant right now. And yeah, so like I love this game, man. I just love the game. That's all I have to say. We'll end the pod
crazy
right
that, dude, it's crazy that you bring up that Tarkov is having its full release tonight, and that's coming a little bit after Arc Raiders has their first big update. But we'll get into that,
which was
much
bigger
later.
than expected,
Yeah.
by the way. Holy
Yeah,
moly!
it was.
Good
I
work.
just got off of work, and I want to get into it soon.
Let's get
So
through it. I'm trying to head to
yeah.
Stella Montes with you, bro.
Yes, yes, sir. Let's do it. But yeah.
Spoilers. Dude, okay, so do you just want to like briefly go over how like your familiarity with like the extraction shooter genre and like why this game kind of speaks to you more than the others, it seems like?
Yes. So as many of you guys might know, I've talked about it a lot in the pod, but I have a long history with console gaming. So I didn't really get into PC gaming until maybe sometime in 20 or sometime last year, I should say. And Justin introduced me to Escape from Tarkov. I had seen gameplay of Escape from Tarkov ever since the game released way back when into early access, of course, but I never got around to playing it or any other type of extraction shooter because I was on console. They don't really offer much in the way of extraction shooters on console. But I played a little bit of Escape from Tarkov, very little, with Justin. He was kind enough to gift me the game, and I had a good amount of fun with it. But one thing that kind of turned me away, and apparently this happens a lot with like a lot of newcomers that don't latch onto it right away, is that the game is very, very sophisticated. You have to put in a lot of time to kind of get that sense of reward and like accomplishment. Not to quote EA or anything, but Arc Raiders kind of it simplifies it in some ways, but it doesn't dumb it down. Like
Yeah.
it's very approachable, and that's something that I really appreciate about this game.
Tarkov
But
is like literally a part-time job, even sometimes a full-time job, to where it's like you have to
yeah,
learn how to play the game. You have to go through a whole college course to learn how to play, to then
yeah,
enjoy it. Which like, when the
yeah,
game came out, we were all like how you're feeling for Arc Raiders now, where it's like this sense of discovery and like like this is crazy. Like you're just learning all like Tarkov
yeah,
players went through that nine
yeah,
years ago. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Everyone
yeah,
playing the game now has been like we know this, and now we just play to the meta where it's like if we're not doing this thing, like you're trolling. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And
But
that's like the
yeah,
death of a lot of PvP games in general, is just like the metatization of a game. And Arc Raiders is so fresh that like
yeah,
even though lots of players are starting to hit that max level or close to it, above 50, 40, 50. I feel like a lot of the players are getting up there. You know, it still feels like they don't know all the cheeky spots. They don't know all the mechanics of the game. I barely see people use landmines. I barely see people use barricades and traps. We're going to get into that. I know I'm just throwing terms out here, but we're assuming you kind of have played the game. If not, we'll go deeper dive
well,
later on. But
no,
it's like
totally, and yeah,
it's just easier to grasp like you said. Like one of the things I have listed here as one of our notes is like just this game in general, everything just feels so intentional, and you can tell like when you read just one example. I'll get into this later. The barricades, right? Like
yeah,
you know what a barricade does? It's a wall. It's a deployable wall. You run around with it. But like there's so much more you can do with it if you get creative with it. Like you can block off doorways. That's an obvious one. You can like they snap together, like pieces of them snap together, so you can like connect them. There's actually a YouTube video. I'll try and put it up here. No promises, but I'll try and put it up for everyone to see. There's a little short. This guy literally walled off an entire extract, and he left one opening so that like anybody who came through, he's like, "Are you friendly? If you're friendly, you may pass. If not, then you are not allowed into my fortress." It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Like stuff like that can be done. Like one, that's just one gadget in the game, and there's dozens of them that you can get. You can get creative with and do so much cool stuff. And I just think this game is like perfect for that. And it really blends into the creativity. Like there's, there's things that are like a landmine, like very obvious, but you can do some crazy things with it too. If you get creative.
Yeah. Yeah, and you actually bring up a point that I didn't really think about initially, but Arc Raiders, as sweaty as it is, right? Because it can be sweaty
In squads, yeah, I'd
it's
say.
yeah, it's one of those games where you can get really competitive in it, but at the same time, I don't get overly frustrated whenever I do die or whenever I do lose stuff. Like there's still some fun and enjoyment to be had, even when the game isn't necessarily going your way. And that's kind of a testament to the developers for creating a game where it can be competitive, but yet it can also be fun, even in some of the bad moments,
Right.
Quote unquote bad moments.
I want to get into that later because I actually bring that up. But yeah, that's a really good point. Just
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. But yeah, so I played a little bit of Escape from Tarkov. I played a little bit of the Delta Force beta, which really isn't much. But other than that, I haven't really played that many extraction shooters just because I haven't had access to it. But I liked what Escape from Tarkov offered. I just didn't have the time or the commitment to put into it. But with Arc Raiders, I've been able to pick it up, no problem. I'm not saying I mastered it or anything, but it's definitely approachable, easy to pick up and play, and kind of go at your own pace.
Yeah.
But
one thing I want to bring up, because
yeah.
it'll lead into our next topic actually, is like this genre of extraction shooter, looter shooters is kind of split between like there's some games that are PvE focused and some games that are PvP focused, right? Like you have games like Escape from Tarkov, Road to Vostok, Gray Zone Warfare, which are more on the PvE side of things. Like you don't really fight other players. Gray Zone's 50-50. There's two different game modes. One's like operations, which is you can't kill other people, and the other one is a PvP mode. I forget what it's called. And then there's like obviously the obvious one is Tarkov, Cycle Frontier, which doesn't exist anymore, but that was a PvP game. Arena Breakout, which is like China's Tarkov, and Delta Force, which I think is also a Chinese company, but it caters more to the West. It was like something of the Black Hawk Down series. So it's a derivative of that.
Yeah.
So there's already like a divide. And then we get Arc Raiders, which is, I would say, the perfect blend of the PvE, PvP mess. I know we're going to get into the hot topic of should this game have stayed PvE, and that actually leads into our first major topic. What are your thoughts on them switching from an online co-op looter shooter to an extraction PvP shooter?
Yeah, and I appreciate you asking me that question because me and Justin have talked about this plenty of times. But for those of you guys that don't know, that when Arc Raiders was first introduced, I believe it was brought up at the Game Awards, and it was kind of introduced as this online, like Justin said, co-op looter shooter where everyone would be banded together to fight the arcs, right? And they would be looting them for gear. And it wasn't until like, I don't know if it was a year or even more later, where they announced that it would no longer play like that and would be an extraction shooter where it would include PvP. And then when they showed the trailer for that, it kind of slowed things down. Like people were methodical about whether to engage other players or if they wanted to loot or attack the arc or like hide in whatnot. It offered a lot different gameplay than the original trailer did. And at first I was a little skeptical because even though I always wanted to play the extraction shooter like genre, I just thought it looked massive scale and I was all about that. Like I think like the first trailer showed a bunch of players fighting the queen and I'm like, oh man, if that's like if that's like, oh, we have to come together and work together to defeat it, I think that could be really awesome, and if we're constantly encountering, I think in the trailer they showed like dozens of wasps or dozens of wasps and hornets. And I was like, man, this is such a large scale. And in the Unreal Engine, it looked beautiful. But then when they showed the extraction shooter gameplay, it kind of looked like it was kind of taken back a little bit. It was kind of it shrunk in scale. And so I was a little bit worried about how it would play. But after playing the game, I played about maybe around 40 hours, which is nothing compared to Justin. But I I'm pretty happy with the Switch. It makes sense why they did it, and I'm happy with it. What
The
about you?
gameplay still feels exactly how you described it. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
when they were
Yes.
showing it, it was like, oh yeah, you band together against these enemies. It's
Yeah.
not like they toned it down, mind you.
Yeah.
And like it's still the AI are definitely a threat, and especially when I'm playing solo, which this is gonna lead into our next topic. Uh, like when I'm playing solo, I want to team up with people because like even though I feel pretty confident in taking out some wasps and some hornets, if I don't have the right gear, like I can't take out like some of the higher level enemies, like the rocketeer or like a bombardier by myself. I probably could.
Yeah.
If I cheese it a little bit, third person abuse some wall tactics, but like
Yeah.
this game is really still encouraging you to work with other people, especially in solo. That doesn't really happen in squads. I think people
Yeah.
just have. I think what has happened really, which is kind of magic in and of itself, is everybody's kind of delegated solo to like, this is the PVE mode, quote unquote. You can still encounter other players that are jerks and want to kill people.
Yeah.
But that adds to the tension, in my opinion. Like I know a lot of people are complaining about that. We'll get into player complaints and feedback later. But I think that like the reason why your solo rates feel so intense, because like think about a year from now, 2 years from now, when like the arc are so easy, you don't care anymore. You have a million wolf packs in your stash, which is like this grenade that's like a heat-seeking grenade. It like auto tracks enemies and it's really powerful. Just imagine like a year from now, 2 years from now, you're just like, oh, what's the point of the AI? The PvP aspect of it still gives you that tension, you know?
Yeah.
And even right now, like, there's so many clips of people being like, this guy's a traitor, kill him! And they ban. It's like a thing that brings people together. It's like, this guy just killed another player, I'm gonna go team up with these guys, and we're gonna hunt that guy down. And then there's
Yeah.
people on the community just out there being like, yo, look out for this username. He's a scumbag. He killed me in the extract. Like,
Yeah.
that wouldn't even be content, community-driven content, if this game was
Yeah.
PvE. That never would have happened. So it's like, yeah, I hear the
Yeah.
complaints, and yeah, it's frustrating when you lose your stuff. That's just par for the course with an extraction shooter. But it's like
Yeah.
we have the magic. Embark really captured lightning in a bottle here. I
Yeah.
understand why everyone's saying this game is game of the year, and honestly, it should be a contender.
Yeah.
But we'll reserve our opinions on Game Awards when that happens.
Yes, and we're looking forward to that because this year has been a
Yeah.
stacked year. Yeah, no, great point about how all players really do come together, and then there's also that tension because of the unpredictability, like you mentioned. When it was just a looter shooter, everyone was just buck wild running out in the open, and but now obviously you got to take cover. The AI is much more of a threat, like almost
If you engage an
arguably.
AI,
Yeah,
a player might
yeah,
be nearby that you don't know
yeah,
about, and he's like, "Oh, there's a guy." Now it changes the dynamic of an entire fight. Whereas like in PVE, it's like, "Oh, well, I just kill this robot and move on to the next one." Like I'm not
yeah.
saying that's how it is, but like I've played. There's a game out there called Generation Zero.
I heard of it.
All my
Yeah,
cult following gaming fans know about this one. It is literally Arc Raiders in first person, but it's just
yeah,
PVE. It's co-op PVE, and that game honestly, like I played it all the way through, and I thought it was a pretty like lackluster experience, low key. So I think this was a
yeah,
good decision. What they did, they knew what they were doing. Embark is a great studio. Like
yeah.
they they are 2 for 2 on amazing releases.
No, they are
So
great. I loved the finals. It really it was, a first person action game that in a time where it was getting stale, and it did something different with the destruction, and you could see that Battlefield 6 was, obviously inspired by it. They were former devs over
mhm.
at Embark. They have some former EA Dice people,
That's what it
and
was.
you
I
could
said
tell.
Dice yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought of the other studio. Yeah, EA Dice. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, their work inspired Battlefield 6 years down the line, and Arc Raiders, I think, is will inspire other extraction shooters to come, like
Yeah.
Marathon. I would assume that they'll take some cues from this.
This is what happens
So
when good devs leave. Mark my words here. Crappy companies and make their own games.
yeah, yeah, and then when they band together with other awesome creatives,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it's a recipe for
Don't blame the
success.
devs. Blame the publishers/creators. Sometimes, not every
Yeah.
time, but 80% of the time. It's
Yeah.
not the dev's
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah. So I put in 40 hours into the game, but Justin, what has your experience been like? How much time have you put in for
Is
the
this
viewers?
embarrassing? It is. I'm unemployed, just for the record. Okay, very recently unemployed, so I've had a lot of time to play this game. I am 161.3 hours as of right now, and it's about to go up.
What?
It's about to go up 10 more hours tonight after this pod. Let me.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
No, but
That's
it's been crazy. It's been I love this game. I don't know if you could tell, but it's a little unhealthy.
yeah. To be honest with you, we were obviously we're going to talk about the cons of this game, later, or what can be improved upon. But when I was writing up what I thought were negatives of the game, I actually struggled to come up with some things that I didn't like about it, or I
You have to
struggled to
think
come up with
about
some
it.
things.
You're like, what do I
Yeah,
actually not like?
I know.
That isn't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
objective. Like I don't like being killed by other people.
Yeah, exactly. It took me a minute, and
Yeah.
then I saw that Justin was taking a little while to answer it too while we were coming up with it.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really funny. But yeah, so uh, you were being modest because you put that both of us combined have over 150. But with that number, I think we're over 200.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. To be fair, like 10 of my hours, okay, are just like AFK hours, okay. So
AFK.
I have
Yeah.
like 140. Yeah, no, it's embarrassing a little bit, but
No, not
you know,
embarrassing, man. That's
there's nothing
dedication.
else to play. There's nothing else to play
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, man. There's
So for
it's
me,
no, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
yeah.
But uh, yeah. Well, we hinted at it earlier, but the new event, just not like, has it been a week?
Oh,
A little over.
before we get into events, let's talk
Yeah,
about the queues experience, right? Let's we talked briefly about like pros cons. I know we have a pros cons list later on, but
yeah, yeah,
one experience. This is related to like our gameplay experience.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So like the solo, duos, trios, those are the like groups you can play in like when you're queuing. There is crossplay. This game is crossplay with PlayStation and Xbox, and also has like squad fill. You can play with randoms. I've done that once. It was terrible. Never squad fill. I like that it's an option, but
Yeah, yeah.
just don't ever do it. Yeah, it's terrible. People are
It's
toxic.
not. It's not ideal.
No, it's better to run solo and find friendly people. It's easier to do that than find good teammates in duos and squads. I'll
I
be
also
honest.
just run double without filling too, because
Yeah.
I can't trust the random. Yeah.
Exactly. But okay, so like on launch there wasn't a duo queue. There was rumors going around that I even bought into of like if you queue duos, you can be in solo lobbies and trio lobbies, but it seems like that wasn't the case and it was if you're a duo, you're in a trio lobby. So they just didn't have duo queues. They tested it apparently like while we were playing, but I really felt like 99% of my games that when I was a duo, we were fighting 3 stacks. And it's like it was a little ridiculous. That was a complaint. They alleviated that with this recent update. Now if you're a duo, you are prioritized to be in other duo queues, but very rarely can still get put in trios, like if there's not a server open. So that was a really good change. Like solo is a totally different game. We touched on that already, and then trio is basically like you're not talking. Everyone's shoot on sight on trios. Duos. I've had more luck lately. Since they've added duo queue. Like yesterday, I have this clip shown on screen actually. We were running duos. No, it was funny. We ran trios. Totally eating my words here. We ran trios, and these 2 teams were fighting a Rocketeer. They banded together, and then we ran in to help them, and it was 3 teams of 3 all fighting this Rocketeer like right at the end of a raid. It was cool.
That's cool, man. I saw this funny comment somewhere, maybe on YouTube, but someone was like, "Solo to farm, trio to harm," and I think that
That's
no
funny.
more truer words have not been said, because that is just a fact, I feel like.
True.
But yeah, no, I've played a lot of solo queue. I've solo queued a lot because we have a big group of people that we play with. We have a Discord server, and a lot of us play Arc Raiders. So usually there's already groups kind of filled, and by the time I get off of work, there's everyone usually is with other people. So I solo queue a lot, and I've encountered so many friendly people. I've also encountered some jerks because, like we said, there's a little bit of unpredictability. But if people are civil and you talk through things through, then people are likely to help you out, just because how the game is built. And
Yeah.
that's just something that I really like. You can enjoy this game solo, duo, or trio,
Which is hard to do in other games
which
like
is
Tarkov or
hard
Delta
to do.
Force.
And
Playing solo.
unlike many other games that offer crossplay, they do not they don't have like many restrictions from my understanding, because like there's certain things in other games where you cannot play crossplay, but we'll talk about, I'm sure, competitive later on, right? The comp, the rank
Yeah,
situation,
it's different.
right? But
It's
it
different.
is completely different, and I love it for it. But the fact that you're able to play crossplay, I don't think ever been restricted crossplay so far that I've been playing this game, and that is actually a huge deal
And
for
I
me.
haven't really
So
noticed either. Sometimes you can really tell the
yeah,
difference, but the guns in this game, like just the fact that it's a third person shooter,
yeah,
right? And there's just so many factors, like the robots, just the squad. Like you cannot tell for the most part, like if
yeah,
somebody's a console player or not.
yeah,
It's like some games, you, especially in the first person shooter genres, you can tell.
yeah.
Depends on how like there's so great console players out there that smack PC players any day of the week. JT is one of those people, but
Yeah, I appreciate it.
you know,
Yeah,
for the
dude,
most
especially
part,
first
like your
person.
average console gamer, you know, you can tell. You can definitely tell. Just by
Yeah,
the way they
but
move, it's different because it's smoother on controller. Whereas like PC's very snappy. You press the W key, you're moving forward at full speed. Whereas like that's not really a thing. There's like glide on controller really. It's different.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's a minor point, not really related. Let's talk about the events you briefly brought up because
yeah,
this is something I really like. Tarkov kind of
yeah.
does this, but it's more like seasonal, like Halloween kind of thing.
Mhm.
This is something that's like constantly ongoing every hour of the day. They got events going. So
Yeah, so they
yeah,
basically have like modifiers slash events that happen in the maps themselves. Basically, they got one going every hour, it seems,
yeah.
whether it's a night, well, the night raid, I think there's always one night raid, if I'm not
It
mistaken, but
cycles through the maps. Yeah,
yeah, it goes through all the maps, and it lasts for about, is it an hour, I think,
an
right?
hour on each
You
map.
know?
Yep.
Yeah, an hour each on night raids, and the night raids you earn like twice the amount of loot. Like there's more
Yes.
rarity, but it's also more dangerous. So it's like high risk, high reward. You know, you
Yes.
might want to go in bringing some stuff because you know you're going to come across some crazy arc, or you know people are going to be kind of fighting each other over some things. It's just a different, it's just a different game,
Yeah.
almost. You know, it plays so differently. But that's not the only event that happens in the game. There's other things like hidden bunkers where you kind of have to work with multiple people to basically unlock, you know, like resources from the arc.
Hmm.
There's electromagnetic storms where like literally like it's like lightning strikes down on the map, and it's dangerous. Like I got hit by those a couple of times, not knowing how to dodge it for my first time, you know, and it put me in a bind because then the arc started attacking me, and
Yeah, those things can almost two
yeah.
shot you. The lightning strikes, like you're done for if you get hit twice and not
Yeah, but
healed. Yeah.
it's not like it's not unbalanced. Like
Yeah.
feels pretty fair. Like once you learn it, once you know how to avoid things, it
If
plays
it
so
forces
well.
everyone to go inside because it's when you're inside, you're completely immune to the lightning strikes. So it's like
Yeah.
it changes the way you run around the map. It's like more people get pushed into, especially on the dam where there's a lot of underground areas. Like you're kind of
Yeah.
running around, you know, avoiding the storm. You find a lot more people inside. It's a good time. But I kind of wanted to explain. A lot of people don't know this. Like you mentioned, like how night raids have like double experience, double loot. So
Yeah.
there's two different kinds of events. There's minor events and major events. And minor events,
Mhm.
they also have a rotation where it's like every hour they change, and it's like kind of random. I'm sure there's like an order to it, but it's kind of random like where they go. And those things are like the launch probes, Raider Cache event, the Lush Blooms event, the Electrified Husks, and Spaceport Tower. I'm kind of just gonna breeze through these because explaining them,
Yeah.
I could do it all night.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
minor events, and those occur during the daytime only. And so like
Mhm.
it's basically just like variety of loot. One thing I want to talk about is the Electrified Husks because I feel like people sleep on this one. So if you guys have played the game at all, you'll notice like there's like rusted robots like littered about that were destroyed. They're like part of the map. They were destroyed before the events of the game. I'm not going to spoil any story stuff here, but that's just like a brief thing. Um,
Yeah.
During the Electrified Husks event, there's a chance for the parts inside of those husks to not be broken. So like if you need specific parts from a robot, like a Rocketeer driver, you can loot the rusty Rocketeers and potentially get a non-broken driver. But the trade-off is the husks become like little shock traps where like when you break them open and it pops open, it can electrify you and like stun you for just a moment. And that's like one of my favorite little events because like not a lot of people know about it. I'm exposing it here.
Yeah.
Like,
No, they offer some really great resources and they just
yeah,
provide a different way to tackle each raid. And they happen really often, which is great.
all the
And you
time,
get,
and they rotate
yeah,
maps, so it encourages you to play other maps that you don't like or normally play. It's
yes,
like, dude,
yes. It's so cool. And because I get the appeal, I get the appeal of like not wanting to have an event happening all the time because then it kind of takes away from the, oh wow, it's an event, it's a rare thing, right? But this does it in a way that it's fresh because they have quite a bit of them and they're
right?
quite varied on each of the maps, which is awesome. And they reward you for trying to do them or for doing a raid
Yeah,
in them. You
you
get,
can kind of
you
plan
get a
around it. Like
resources.
lush blooms, I
Yeah.
need my plants. I need to
Yes.
go gather plants for my bandages.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, or raider caches. It's more ammo and guns, like in the little ground loot stashes. It's just like it totally changes the way you're planning with your team. And it's like you ask your homies, like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And it's like, can we do some probes? I need some arc alloy." Or like, "Hey,
Yeah.
the spaceport tower's up. Let's go do the event." And it's just like, oh, dude. And it gives everybody something to do. And let's say you have a quest on another map, right? And there's an event going on Spaceport. Like the PvP sweat tryhards are probably going to be going to do the event. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you have like lower chances of running into the tryhards if you go to a map that doesn't currently have an event going on. But
And
the
I've
other
I've
kind of
noticed
event,
that.
yeah, yeah,
I've noticed
true.
that. Yeah.
I've noticed, especially in solo, like if I go to a map that has nothing going on, people are definitely more friendly.
Yes, yeah.
But then there's the major events, and these ones, including night raids, is the most common. But these major events have 2 times loot. The loot is also rarer, and you earn more experience and score towards your trials, which we'll touch on trials later. The downside to major events, whether it's nighttime or daytime, is you have less extracts, and you can't use the raider hatches. There's only like 2 or 3 extracts available, and it's
They're
just
all
more
for
intense.
everyone.
Yeah.
They're all for everyone. And
And,
so the night raids can go of, I think, one or two ways. One, people will kind of work together to try to get out of there with all
mhm.
the loot they can, right? And then I think the other one is it's kind of just a shit show and everyone's just fighting for resources and
Yeah.
being really stingy. So I think it can go one of those two ways,
Hmm.
to be honest.
But
But
you have the major
yeah.
events being like the night raids, the hidden bunker, the keycard bunker on Blue Gate, which is a new one that people are still figuring out, and then the electromagnetic storm, which you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention this. People are gonna get mad if I don't. But the Queen and the Matriarch are part of that minor event category, where like it is a big event. Don't think that I'm
Yeah.
like using the word minor to say it's like a pushover event. It's just
Yeah.
you don't get double XP during that one, and it's classified as a minor like event. The major events are all like the something with the map has drastically changed, like the night raids, the storms, and the bunkers being like a whole new area of the map that you can explore only during that event. That's like a major map condition versus a minor map condition.
Yeah.
Is what I mean by that. So yeah, those
No.
are the events. Awesome, and they keep dude like the bunker one and the keycard bunker thing were stuff that they added this week, and storms they added last week. Like they just keep
Yeah.
adding events, and I'm excited. There's another one coming on the roadmap if you guys didn't know, but it's I think it's gonna be like snow, something
Yeah.
cold related. We'll see how that
Yeah.
affects gameplay.
Winter related.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I really love about Embark is that they're pretty on it when it comes to their updates. I didn't know that they were gonna be releasing the new map as soon as they did. Like I don't know if they put a specific date on it, but then when they finally released
They did say
the new map.
November, but nobody knew the date.
Okay, they did say November, but then it feels like it wasn't that long after the game
It's been
launched.
two
Like it was,
weeks.
yeah, it felt like a surprise, and it was a nice surprise because it was enough time for me to enjoy the game, and I could still learn the game, or for
Hmm.
anyone really. I'm just speaking generally, but
And this,
and
by the way, had its
yeah,
own event. Its own event,
yes,
which we can
yeah,
talk about briefly if you want before we move on to progression.
yeah, yeah. Go
Yes.
for it.
So like totally blew me out of the water. I thought it was just gonna be like whatever. So this
Yeah,
event had 2 phases, right? So like last night, well, I guess it was 2 nights ago now. They were like, okay, it's kind of related to the story. I'm gonna say here, there's slight spoilers, but everybody should be on the quest now. Like if you've been playing the game and have done like I think it's 21 raids, you can play the map. But basically, spoilers ahead. Skip ahead like 5 minutes if you want to avoid this. But basically, our raiders had discovered another tunnel that went to this location that has been untouched since the world fell apart. And so us as a community had to gather like basic resources, like thousands of basic resources, and contribute to rebuilding the tunnel and getting rid of the traps that some unknown force had left behind. We still don't know what that force is, but yeah. So somebody obviously didn't want us here, and this map is called Stella Montes, and it's basically like an underground laboratory by this company that I won't spoil the name of. JT hasn't done any story stuff yet, so I'm trying to be really vague here. But it's like, it's so freaking cool. There's crazy loot down there. There's totally new items, like dozens of new items. It's tripping me out. And we went from phase 1, which was unlocking the map as a community, and then phase 2 began, and it kind of gave us this like battle pass thing where we earn merits, and you can use those
Yes.
merits to like get skins and equipment, and everybody got this for free, by the way. This is not a paid battle pass. It is completely free. And I feel like it's their way of like testing a battle pass system, but then like allowing us to earn rewards for this awesome event and contribute as a community. This is just another thing too. Like, this game is a PvPvE game. There's a lot of toxic people, but like, we are still working towards the goal of destroying the Ark and figuring out and reclaiming the Earth. You know, literally the event is called taking new ground, I think is what the event is called. It's somewhat similar to that. So it's like this,
Yeah.
you know, there's still this push in the lore for us to be working together, but like some people don't. And it's just, dude, this event is crazy. I want to go play it right now. Can we hurry this up?
No, it's incredible. It's incredible. I logged in briefly before we started doing the pod, but I saw that you earn the to get like the merits to unlock the new stuff in this free battle pass, essentially, right? You just get it by playing.
Yeah.
And Embark has always been consumer friendly from the first days of the finals. They've always had events where you can unlock free gear, free equipment, and I just thought, wow, they're bringing that consumer friendly goodwill to Arc Raiders, and they're doing it in such an awesome way, because the first battle pass that everyone has at the start of the game, that anyone can just unlock stuff from that. And then now they're doing it with this new map and this new update, and this is just a sign of what's to come. And I'm really looking forward to everything. But
Yeah. Incredible work.
briefly, yeah, briefly, kind of along the same lines, the battle pass, right? There is a little bit of a progression system. What I thought was really interesting is that there's quests involved, right? Because there's traders in the game. You get quests from the traders, and usually they result in you getting equipment that you can put in your stash.
Those are like the
stuff you
story
can use.
quests.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of story and lore to it. And what's cool is that once you complete it, it'll be added to your codex, which is like, like literally texts of lore, and you can revisit all the quests that you complete. I believe there's like a total of 60 plus quests. I've completed about 30 of them. I'm sure Justin, I think you have beaten all of them, right?
There's new quests with Stella Montes, but yes.
Oh, I had a feeling, because I got one from one of the traders.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to kind of go into those as well. I've completed a lot, but one thing that surprised me is that those don't give XP, right? But you get XP in a lot of ways, because you do level up your character. There is a leveling system. It's 1 to 75. Each level you earn a skill point that you can put toward 3 skill trees, and the skill trees, they give you different things. One is stamina, one is survival skills, and remind me again the third one, Justin.
Mobility.
Mobility. So obviously you can kind of tell what each of them do. They give you some really good benefits, some better than the others. But there's a lot to play for. You play through the quests to get the lore, to get the equipment. You play to level up your guy or the skill points, and you can max out to 75. And then end game, Justin, do you want to share a little bit about end game, since you're way into that?
Yeah, I'm already ready for my expedition. It's kind of nuts. Yeah, so late game, right? So like you can actually begin the late game once you hit level 20. It's very early on. You don't actually have to reach 70. Like, let's say you're a more casual player, you just have to reach level 20 and then start contributing to your expedition to really like prep for the end game content, which is coming in December. That's something that there's a timer in game. It has like the days counting down. That's when the expedition will begin, and then we'll have 7 days to go through with it. But like we were saying at the beginning of this pod, this is a very casual, friendly extraction shooter, and this late game stuff begins at level 15 and 20 respectively, which I'll touch on what the expedition is first, since we were talking about it. But it's basically how you wipe your character. So if people aren't familiar with this genre or are familiar, a wipe is basically you reset your progress back to 0. And in this game, they wanted to make that completely optional. So like, If you never want to wipe your character, let's say you're super casual, not like me, no life gamer, just playing the game, getting max level, you know, don't feel like you have to wipe your character. But there are rewards for those that do decide they want to. And by the way, let's say if you're kind of on the fence, you can still contribute to the expedition and not go through with it during the 7-day window where it's like you hit the button, reset your character. And what's cool is all the materials you provided to the expedition, it doesn't get wiped. Like if you don't launch your expedition, you can use it for the next time, which I think will be in like February. If they keep doing the 60-day window, should be like February, should be the next expedition. So you don't have to be ready for this one. You could just go to the next one if you want to. You know?
Yeah, that was my big concern because I'm not the biggest fan of restarting everything. Like in Call of Duty, obviously it's prestiging, and that's in a much smaller scenario, right? Because
Yes.
you're just losing your loadouts and your guns, but here you're losing literally your skill points, you lose your stash, but you do get those benefits, and some of those benefits
Yes.
include getting more skill points, getting more stash space.
Yep.
There and then
There's good. They said they're gonna add
spinning.
skins
Yeah,
and custom like more stuff for your expedition. So I guess people were complaining that there wasn't enough. I thought it was
yeah,
great. Like I was like, in Tarkov
yeah.
we don't get jack shit. You start back from zero and all your skills get reset, everything. And I just feel like that's how you know I'm like a battered X or something. You know, like I just play Tarkov and it
I
beats
was
me
just
to
gonna
death.
ask you.
And then like I play
Yeah,
Arc Raiders and it's like, oh, I get bonus skill points when I wipe. Like, dude, I'm eating good. And other people were like, no,
yeah.
this is shit. And so they're gonna add more stuff for doing expedition. So it's even more than the game currently even says.
That
It's
is
gonna be way
amazing.
more worth it to do an
That is
expedition.
amazing. I love that concept of you getting rewarded for the time that you put in. Like I
Yeah.
love I used to love Call of Duty. I don't like Call of Duty really much these days, but all you would really get are what the calling cards. You get a little icon for prestiging, right?
Yeah.
But this is like on a large scale, and even for Escape from Tarkov, which is like the definitive extraction shooter, like you mentioned, you didn't really get anything. So this is like different territory, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
It's nice too because all the sweat lords like me, right? Like sure, we're having a great time like stomping all the noobs and the casuals, but like when the expedition rolls around, all you guys that aren't wiping your characters, you're gonna get your upcomings. You know, we're gonna be all starting back at our free loadouts and crappy gear. You know, it's it's
Yeah.
your time to shine. So like really, I think it's a really good idea because all the people that just know life the game, especially all the streamers, they're gonna get to this. They're gonna do their expedition and restart their accounts. And the people that don't, like the casuals, they're gonna have the upper hand for at least another. It took me like playing this game a lot. It took me like 2 weeks to get to this point.
Yeah.
So it's like, you'll have that window of like all the tryhard chads are getting stomped now by the casuals, and it's like that's their way of I think balancing the game. And also, like when you're wiping your character, it takes away some of the loot from the economy because like I know there's not really a market in this game, but like when loot is floating around, that's what we call the economy. And so like when you kill a heavily geared player and you get like 6 pink items off of him, that stuff is then removed from the economy like when you take it and then you go on your expedition and your whole character gets wiped. So then
Yeah.
less of those rare items are floating around just freely, and it kind of resets the game for everyone in that aspect. Even if you don't reset your character, the loot that all these chads have been saving and hoarding is also being erased. So then like it kind of like brings the economy. It's going to fluctuate the economy. There's not going to be like super OP stuff flying around everywhere all the time. You know, it's like
Yeah.
every 60 days the economy is going to go through like a weird shift where it's like, oh, people are using like gray weapons again and like crappy ammo, and so if you don't play this game that much, you can like plan around that and be like, oh, I want to play during this time where like people are gonna have like not so crazy gear where I'm getting stomped every time I play. And that's like one of the things like I like about Tarkov is when the game wipes, it's like everyone has a fair shot. You know, the noobs and the chads, we all have the same crappy gear. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just
No, it's great.
it's a
I,
good
I
it's a
can't
good
wait for the
idea.
expedition. I cannot wait for the expedition. I was hesitant originally, but then when I heard about some of the benefits and
Hmm.
that your progress, well, you won't lose your progress. I was on board with starting it up and doing the challenges. But let's move on to the pros and cons. We got,
Oh, I didn't even talk
um,
about trials. I can
no, don't
if
worry
you want
about
to
it.
talk
That'll
about
be one of
trials.
that'll I'll go over it briefly, but basically trials is like the ranked for this game.
Yeah.
It is you how you progress is so different from other games. It feels very old school, but basically every week there's a set of like 5 challenges where it asks you to hit. You want to keep. You want to. You want to get a high score each time you're playing a raid. So
Mhm.
basically, you earn points by doing a specific challenge each time you're in a raid, and it doesn't. It's hard to explain. It doesn't stack up each match, but you want to keep improving each match to kind of give
Yeah,
yourself the highest score possible.
it's like when you
Yeah.
go to the arcade and you see those 10 high scores of like the people that have played on this machine. It doesn't like accumulate your score, but if you hit a high score, you get to write your name on the board and everybody gets to see it. That's basically what this
Yeah.
is. And it's very fitting of the theme of this game. It's very retro 70s. And of course the
Yeah.
ranked mode is like paying homage to the arcade high scores competitive scene. And there's no separate queue for ranked. It's just like you're earning points.
Well, you're playing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
every
just
time
playing
you're
the
every
game
time
and you
you're
earn
playing.
points. And if you get a high score, it's like, oh, cool, I ranked up and I got some extra rewards. It's not like you have to invest. You can invest into it, and in the later ranks you should, if you want to get ahead. But like, you really don't have to. It's just an optional thing. It's one of the best
Yeah.
ways to get blueprints. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Everybody play ranked, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, and they put you in like a leaderboards with like 100 players, and basically you have to get
Yeah,
into a certain rank by the end of the week and kind of stay there in order
certain
to
placement,
progress up.
certain. So
Yeah,
like,
certain
it's like 1
placement.
through
Yeah,
30, and then you rank up.
correct.
Something
And
like
then
that.
if you're like lower than that, you either stay still or you go down depending on where you're at. And
Hmm.
each rank they give you rewards, and for your higher scores, they start giving you just stuff. They give you stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And the fact that I do not have to worry about queuing into something else with my buddies who are on console, like we could just play together
Yep.
and enjoy the game. It is such a breath of fresh air.
And it's
And I'm
nice
not
because I can do
sweating.
my rank
Yeah.
challenges, and JT can go quest in the same raid. He doesn't have to do it with me.
Yeah.
It's like,
Correct.
oh man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful thing. But that's kind of one of our positives. So let's continue on with our positive, shall we? What is Justin, do you have a positive about the game that you'd like to share? I know we love the game generally speaking, but is there anything that you want to shout out?
Yeah, we really talked about it in the beginning, but I mentioned it before, and I want to bring it up now. Is the game is really easy to grasp for like, you know, the more casual gamer or even people that haven't played this genre but have played other genres. Like everything is just really easy to wrap your head around, right? So like one thing I really like, and I brought this up multiple times while we were playing, is like, you know, all the time you need like scrap metal or plastic or rubber. Like you need this stuff for crafting, and it's like when you're running around, right? Like still you can ask the questions of being like, what do I need? What do I need? What do I need? But it's like once you kind of figure it out, you're like, oh, rusty metal turns into scrap metal. You know what I mean? Like it's so logical and linear to where it's like,
Yeah.
you pick up an item and you're like, I don't know if this is valuable or not. You know, some items are like that. Like you'll find like this thing called like an iosphere scanner. You're like, I have no idea what the hell this thing is. But like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's few and far between.
yeah, it's fewer
Yeah.
and far between. Very obviously, you'll run around. You know, you find a rusty gear. It's a blue item. You're like, oh, this is first. I can scrap this into scrap metal. I need scrap metal. I don't know why you would do that. You need rusty gears, and they're super rare, but you can. You know what I mean? You run into rusty parts. You can. You find like rubber tubes. Obviously, that's gonna shred into rubber. It's like very obvious, and all of the, it's just another testament to like how the devs thought about intentionality. You know, you go play Tarkov, and if I tell JT like you need to go find a Vita juice, he's gonna be like, what the hell is a Vita juice? But if I tell him, yeah, you need metal parts, it's like
I'll know where to find it.
it's a universe. Yeah, I go loot a spot that has metal.
I break down certain things, it's very clear. It's you say casual. I know, we're kind of coming up with descriptive words. I call it approachable or welcoming because like it's just
That's a good way to
there's
put
so much quality of life. It literally tells you what these items do. You could break it down, you could recycle it, or
Yeah,
you
you hover
use
over it and it tells
Yeah.
you what
It tells you.
crafts into or recycles into.
And it's
Yeah.
not like holding your hand. It kind of needs to do that because there's so many items. It's like a quality of life. It's not holding your hand. It's more along the lines of
I haven't
Hey,
needed a wiki
the-
for this
yeah.
game for more than one quest. I looked up a guy.
yeah.
The game is
I would-
so adaptable. You know,
It
I
is.
just adapt to it.
even on the map, dude, it tells you this is the items, the resources that you can find in this
Hmm.
location. This is has high loot value, while this one has medium. Like the game is just so well thought out. You've said it before. I'm just echoing it. But
Yeah.
one thing that I really love about the game is the fact that the Ark are a threat. They're quite dangerous. You
Right.
could fight and tussle with a husk or a hornet, and if you're a low level person or you don't have much good loot, it can take you out. Like it. That's why people are encouraged, or not encouraged, but people are willing to team up because the Ark, they're no pushovers. I
Yeah.
don't think.
Like you run
Yeah.
into a leaper, you're like, oh shoot, I'm screwed.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you
You
better
got to get
you
into a
better have some
building ASAP, or
explosives.
some wolf
Yeah, you
packs or
gotta
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta have something. You gotta have something to fight it. You cannot just fight it with a pistol alone. This is not that type of game. You have to think about what your approach is, how you're gonna plan out your attacks, who you're gonna engage
And
with.
that also
I
encourages people to
yeah,
bring out their gear, which then,
yeah.
the PvPers in us, we're all out there. And even you people that say you don't like PvP, I know you get that rush when you kill somebody and they have a pink item on them.
Yes.
I see
Yeah.
you out there, you sneaky bastards. But no, like, it encourages people to bring out the gear that's used to kill these bigger robots. And then, like, when you kill them, you're like, holy crap, I just got a hole cracker. Or like, oh, this guy had 3 wolf packs, he was hunting bastions. Like, it just and that's how the economy works in this game. I briefly touched on economy, but that's like, in Tarkov, it's very there's this term called gear fear, right? It's actually more of like the genre thing, and people tend not to bring out their best stuff. But in this
Yeah.
game, like,
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah, I'm like, okay, we got to play a little more cautious. I have some really good stuff on me right now, but like, I don't
Yeah.
feel afraid to take it out because it's very intentional. If I bring out a hole
Correct.
cracker, we are going to hunt Ark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring this out and we're gonna go PvP 10 people, and then it's like,
Yeah.
like in Tarkov, when you get the best guns in the game, the only thing they're good for is killing other people. So like, most of the time, I'm just like, yeah, I'm never bringing this out. It's just gonna stay in my stash for 10 years.
Yeah. It's
This
not
game never does that.
Yeah, it's not egregiously punishing, which is really awesome. Like
Yeah.
you feel it when you die and you lose stuff. Like you feel it, but I don't feel it at this point in time to where I need to rage quit or destroy something or, get
And the
really
free
angry.
loadout,
Yeah.
if you die, you just free loadout.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah.
Like, it's so free in
Yeah.
this game that people have been like, it's too free, which I don't agree with. I think it should stay
I don't agree with that either.
how
Yeah.
it is, except
Yeah, I
maybe
agree.
you know how like there's this can maybe even be like a touch on the negatives. Like, if I had to make a suggestion, like, one thing I would want to change is
Yeah.
you can load into raids late even if you're not free kitting, and I think
Yeah.
that maybe it should prioritize, if you bring your own stuff, you should be priority in a new game, and if you're a free kit, maybe you spawn late, like 10 minutes late.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's
Because that's
not a
how it
bad
is in
idea.
Tarkov.
Yeah.
That's how it is in Tarkov
Yeah.
when you scaff. You
Yeah.
you always join a raid late. And a lot of people have been complaining, like, I've gone into 5 games and I'm late to the raid. How am I supposed to go and find good loot in the good areas if all the freaking loot's taken? I understand that sentiment. And it would balance free kits more, because if you're joining late as a free kit, you're not just running straight to a loot spot and getting all the good stuff and then leaving immediately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that would be a
Well,
good
while you're-
solution.
No, that's not that's a pretty good resolution for that issue. That's definitely something they can look at, especially because there's a lot of extraction shooters. They can look to these guys for what to do and what not to do, But
Mhm.
talking about kind of a con that you have with the game, one of my cons for the Arc Raiders is some of the stacks. They're way too small.
Agreed.
Holding only 3 of a mine, or 3 large shields, or I don't know the specific name, but like some of these things you could stack up a little bit higher. Come on.
Yeah.
At least in the stash. You've brought up a good point. Did you want to share that about how they kind of do it in Tarkov? That makes a little bit of sense. A lot of sense, I should say.
It's like what was the term? Well, there's multiple solutions in Tarkov. So one of the solutions in Tarkov is you get cases and you can put items in cases, and like the case maybe takes up one example is the med case. It's a 3x3. So
Yeah.
on Tarkov's inventory, there's grid squares, and the med
Yeah.
case takes up 3x3, so like 9 squares total. But inside the med case, there's 100 squares, but the only things you can put in there are medical items, right?
Yeah.
And so like that would be one solution. Another solution would be like, if you had like in raid, when you're in raid, you can only have like 2 of this item in your inventory, but when it's in your stash, it can stack up to 10. So like
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
Tarkov, you can only have like I think it's like 3 propitals on you. It's like a really powerful stim where you like you inject yourself and it gives you health regen. You can only have like 3 of those on your character in raid, but if you bring it to your stash, you can have unlimited amounts of them. Like you can just stack them. So it's like it's really
Yeah.
helpful, you know.
They could do both. They could do both of those things, and that would immediately, um, I think alleviate that issue for me. But I mean that in the grand scheme of things, you learn how to kind of tackle that, stash space. That's kind of a skill in itself almost.
Hmm.
But I think it'd be one of those quality of life improvements. But kind of going back to the positives, I loved how this game was in third person. Being able to switch shoulders on the press of a button
Dude,
is so clutch.
not only that, but he switches the hand the gun is in too. So
Yes,
then there's not like a
yes.
disadvantage to being on the left side because he's you can still lean out with the left hand. And so I'm like, what?
I know it's so simple, but it makes so much sense. It's funny because in Halo, when you aim down sights with guns that don't have a crosshair, or
Yeah.
they don't have like, they don't have a scope or anything. Uh, it literally just zooms in a little bit to the gun. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make any sense. I don't know if it helps all that much. I think it does a little bit,
And that's a
but
first person game too. It's
and that's
weird.
a first person game.
Yeah.
That's so criminal. And then this game is going the extra mile. You could just switch on a dime by the press of a button,
Hmm.
and it's so fluid and it's so beneficial.
That is
Not
the
just
thing in
not
Tarkov too.
yeah.
You can swap shoulders in Tarkov to left
Yeah.
hand, but you
Yeah.
obviously it's first person. This game goes the extra mile, like you were saying. It's third
Yeah.
person. The peeker's advantage is still a thing. You could even say the third person can be a positive and a negative. It's a double-edged sword because you can see around corners and stuff.
But that's a skill thing, I
It
think.
is, it is, and it isn't because like basically if you this is a pro tip. I'm teaching everybody some PvP pro tips here. If you are
Yeah.
holding an angle, if you don't know what holding an angle means, it means you're already peeking and just standing there and watching where the guy
Yeah.
was, right?
Yeah.
You are at a disadvantage because the person who's third personing can see not only see around the corner, but this game has some pretty bad desync. They said they fixed it in the most recent patch, and I think I definitely have noticed it. But like, if you've been shot around walls, you know you've felt this desync. But basically, like you have peeker's advantage even more so on third person. So if you're holding an
Yeah.
angle, never ever do it. Just hide behind the wall and use the third person to your advantage. Both of you can do it. You're both third
Yeah.
person peeking. Just
Yeah.
stop peeking, guys. You make it so easy. Like all I have to do is literally like peek out, take a shot, and then go back. And because of the desync, you didn't even see me on your screen. Like I'm abusing that, yes, but like everybody should understand like how this game kind of works as much
Yeah.
as possible, and like peeker's advantage on third person is way more prevalent than it is in first person. Because remember, we're playing over the internet. I know a lot of people aren't playing the game and being like, oh man, my latency, like I have a 0.75 seconds to like hit this guy before he sees me on his screen because of the pocket loss. I understand people aren't like
Yeah. People aren't like
math
that.
wizards, but like
Yeah.
that is how video games work, right? So it's like when you
No.
when you factor in like if I'm standing in the open, I'm at a huge disadvantage. That's all you need to know. Just stop being out in the open. You'll live longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But one of the big things that I love about third person is that you could see your character, and when you customize them,
Customization.
when you're seeing the gun in his hands that you picked up, that really rare weapon, like that one that you pulled out and you're holding it like a minigun, I was like, that is awesome. But the fact
Yeah.
that you're able to see it too is just so cool.
Yeah. I love the skins in this game too. Like
It's
I
great.
I have spent money in this game already post buying the game, which is surprising. Like, I don't really do
Yeah.
that. I'm a
Yeah.
big advocate against microtransactions in video, even like non-egregious ones. JT hears
Yeah.
me ranting all the time, but like this game, I just
Yeah.
couldn't help myself. These guys they deserve my money. Like
They do
especially
deserve
after
it.
they did the price drop. By the way, guys, they price dropped these skins after people said they were too expensive. And if you already bought skins before, even if you did it with free currency, they reimbursed you the
Yeah.
difference of the price drop. And I was like, Embark.
They're amazing.
Who
They're
are these
amazing.
people? Can we just have them make every game in existence from here to the end of time? Be awesome.
No, they are, dude, they are fantastic. Rarely ever do you see companies with doing like W's like that. Like there's obviously a few exceptions, but you just love to see it, especially for a multiplayer game. And like you said, not only did they lower the price of the microtransactions and gift the
Hmm.
the currency back, but the game as it stands is not even a full price like AAA game.
Right,
It's
right.
$40
You're
at,
not
at
wrong.
base. At base is $40, and the battle pass, the first battle pass for everyone is free. So
Yep.
it's like they're giving you free stuff. Like
Not to
it's
mention
you just
too
gotta play.
about the battle
Yeah,
pass, there was a big concern of people being like, are the battle passes gonna have gear in them? So like pay to win basically. Like if I buy the battle
yeah,
pass, is it gonna have like OP weapons and shit like that, like in the tiers? They
yeah.
said and clarified there will be free battle passes and there will be paid battle passes, and it's gonna work kind of like Helldivers. Um,
Major W. Yeah.
yes, and so only the free battle passes will have equipment in them, so everybody will have access to it. Whereas like the paid battle passes will only be cosmetics, which is like, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to us. There's not gonna be any pay to win here.
Yeah.
I love
No,
it. I love these
it's
guys know
great.
what they're doing. They're
It's great.
singing praises. Everybody sing their praises. They deserve it. Like them reimbursing us that little bit of my coins is literally the reason why I gave them 10 more of my dollars, because I was like,
Yeah,
you
because
deserve it.
there are games that they will not do that, and you're just ripped off.
Yeah.
Or they're over or these skins were a little bit overpriced, right? And then they fixed it to kind of please player sentiment, right? But there's companies that they'll be like, okay, we're gonna do it because we got so much backlash, and then they don't reimburse you, right? And then you not only did you overspend, but the quality that you overspent wasn't worth it. But
Yeah.
the skins in this game, they're
They did
awesome.
it. They did it within a week, and before it happened, they even said in the Discord, if you want to wait till the price is lower, we encourage you not to purchase our premium currency until the price goes down.
Yeah,
They were like, I'm like, take my money, take it.
yeah, yeah. It reminds me of Arrowhead. Like they talk to the community and whatnot, especially in the early days. But we, as much as we love the game, we have some criticisms.
Yeah,
Justin, do
we
you
do have
have one
some.
that you want to talk about?
Ooh, um,
There was one we both agreed on. If you
is it
wanted
the
to talk
is it
about
the
it.
too many players thing?
No, it was the about the room,
The room, which room?
like your where you stay.
Oh, I wouldn't say that was a negative. I
Well,
don't really care.
it's a minor
It's
thing in the
something I
grand scheme
want.
of
It's
things.
something I want. When I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
negatives, I'm talking like gameplay and like stuff that I don't.
Oh,
Here,
okay, go for it. Go for it.
well, so like one thing for me is some maps are more geared towards like CQB, like Stella Montis,
Yeah.
the new one. It's fresh for everyone right now. I know not everybody has really gotten the chance to play it, but I think there's too many players on that map. So I found out as I was doing some research for I used to think it was 18. It's actually 21 people can be on all of the maps. That includes Buried City and Stella Montis. So that means 7 squads. 7 squads. And if you're solo, that's 21 people. Stella Montis and Buried City are not that big. Buried City is actually a really small map. I know it looks big on paper, but there's like a whole section of map where there's like nothing. Like the Grandioso apartments, there's nothing in them. That
Justin
whole
hates Buried City, if you guys
I
couldn't
hate
tell.
that map. That map is garbage. Half the map has no loot, and the other half of the map is literally just like third party city. That's
It
what
is.
that is.
It's pretty bad.
There's just
It's
too
pretty
many
bad.
people. I think there's too many people. Uh, a point that I brought up is like maybe we could bump it down. I originally had said 12, but that might be
Too
too
short.
much of a
Too.
bump down. Now that I know
Yeah.
that it's
Yeah.
21, because it
Yeah.
divides evenly. It divides evenly 4 times, right? It's like 1 divides by 2, divides by 3, and divides by 4. So then you can do solos, duos, and trios evenly. So
Yeah.
that's an important. Like 21 is the same way. It divides by into 4 times. So you can do solos, duos, trios. You'd have to have another number that divides evenly into duos and trios. So I guess 18 would be that number.
Yeah.
So um,
No, but I understand that criticism, because as soon as you spawn, you're already getting into some conflicts. At least that's what I've noticed with Buried City. I haven't gone into Stella Montis yet, but and also there's just a lot
Salamantis
of
is even worse. I actually,
yeah.
I'm gonna have a clip playing on screen. Let me leave this note. But I have a clip playing on screen. We actually spawned in a room, fought a team, and then literally 2 minutes after we finished that fight, the room we spawned in, a team spawned late, and it felt really unfair. Like, I know you're gonna watch the clip and be like, well, you guys destroyed them. Yeah, I felt bad, right? I was like, these guys literally just spawned where we spawned. It was really there just needs to be less players on these maps, I think, for a more coherent
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, I like close quarter combat. I like fighting in tight corridors. As far as for an extraction shooter, I understand how that could be quite frustrating. I'm curious to see how Stella Montez does it, and I'm curious to see if I feel kind of a similar way as Justin. But Buried City for sure, I'm not really the biggest fan of. They do need to make it a little bit more spacious, provide a little bit more cover, or knock down the player count, which I think would be the easiest route
Yeah.
to take. But one of my criticisms of the game, and you might disagree because I know you like the lore of the game, and I like the lore of the game too, what they've shown us and what they've talked about. But I'd
I don't
like to
disagree with
see
this
more.
take. What
Oh,
you're
you
gonna say?
don't? Okay,
Yeah.
cool, cool. I'd like to see more significant cutscenes. Like I like how we get cutscenes at the end of. Apologies
You're
if
good.
anyone heard that. But I
We're at an hour.
I I love I love how they have cutscenes at the end of some quests or when you unlock a map. Like that's really cool. I just wish they were a little bit more substantial. Like I
Yeah.
wish we got a little bit
I
more. I
also
wish we
wish
knew
I
a
could
little more about the
rewatch them.
traders.
Could I
Yeah,
get that too? Like I
yeah,
kind of want to
yeah.
watch them, and I want to watch them in order. Because by the way, you can complete the quests in different orders, and
Yes.
I don't know which cutscene is supposed to come after the other one. Like I want to know where the story is going coherently. I don't want it just in jumbled bits. So I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really like the traders design. I like the voice acting for the traders.
Hmm.
But I think if you have that replayability for the quests, I think maybe I'll piece together a little bit more about them besides just the NPC stuff they say. And then also if the quests have more like impactful like cutscenes,
Yeah.
then I would definitely be a lot more invested in these guys. But as of right now, they just look kind of cool
On the voice acting
to me.
point, people may get upset if we don't bring this up, but like there's some controversy with like AI voice acting, and I just really briefly wanted to touch on it because
Yeah.
the apparently these actors were contracted, knowing full well that their likeness would be used to AI generation. Um, One thing I understand the criticisms. I understand that AI is a huge heated topic right now. I'm not really here to get into that, but just for a moment, like maybe take a step back, understand that like you're looking at a game and a company that definitely understands, and they did compensate these people, and they're going out of their way when they didn't have to do this to like ensure that the people that did the voice acting for this game are being treated fairly. Assume these contracts are private. We can't know all the full details together, but from what I've seen from multiple content creators, they have said
Yeah.
that these people are they were treated well. I'm saying this like they'd like beat somebody or something, but
Yeah.
it's like guys, not everything AI. I'm just gonna say this for now. It might be a controversial take. Not everything AI is out to get you and destroy everything you know and love. Think about
I
this,
agree.
right? When you
Yeah.
ping an item in this game, your character says the name of that item. When you ping locations, they say the names of these locations. What happens when they add 10 more maps down the line? That Embark said this is going to be a 10-year experience. They want to update this game for 10 years at least. What happens when they add all these things down the line and you get to this new map, and when you ping something, there's no voice line for it? The quality of those maps and the immersion would go down. And I know this is like a kind of a tired topic. It is like the number one topic, I think, in the Discord. Well, it was until the security breach nerf, which we'll get into a little bit.
So
But
so it's AI because they're using AI to emulate their voices. Is that
yes,
is that
so
what?
like there is voice
Sometimes, right?
acting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think all of the voices are AI generated, but the actors they use to create the voices have been compensated.
Yeah. Like they knew full well what they were getting into
Yes.
essentially.
I
Yeah.
don't know the
Yeah.
full details of the contract. I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to sit here and say like, "Oh yeah, they get paid every time their voice is used." That's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
not what it was.
But they knew
Uh,
what they knew full well.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like it's not
when
like they just went
yeah.
out there and like used AI and were like, "Yeah, we didn't want to hire voice actors." They did their due diligence, I think. We shouldn't
Yeah.
really hark on
People
them.
take it to the extreme, man,
Yeah.
because like even Fortnite had their own AI issues. Like when James Earl Jones, he signed off, I think him and his family signed off
Yeah.
that they could use his voice for Darth Vader. So when they incorporated Darth Vader after he had passed, you could have Darth Vader say all these crazy things or whatever
Hmm.
you'd like him to say, and it'd be AI generated. And some people got upset and angry in the defense of
Yeah.
James Earl Jones, but he signed off on it. So like if he was okay with it and it was all done and the
Right.
family's fine with it and it's signed, it's a done deal, like there's no reason to get upset about it. And using a little bit of AI in regards to continuing development of a game, it just depends on how they do it. And I think, like you mentioned, it's good to know the
Yeah.
context of this one
It's just
because,
people getting
yeah,
offended for other people when they aren't even
correct,
offended in the first place. Like none of
correct.
these actors came forward and were like, "Yeah, I didn't sign up for my voice to be AI." Like,
Dude, it was
let's
so
sit
well
down for a
done.
second and just play the damn game. Like, sorry,
No, it was
I'm
so
being a
well
little
done.
mean.
No, you're totally good. It was so well done. I didn't even know that. So
Yeah,
that's
it
cool
is
that you
really
bring
well
that
done
up.
because
Yeah.
I feel like they may have done some voice acting here and there. I can't prove it. There's definitely some moments where I'm like, that was that I can tell that was
Yeah.
voice. Yeah,
But this isn't like Call of Duty where the name plates, right, or the player cards or the emblems have extra fingers or an extra
yeah.
arm or something.
Hey, at
It's
least
not
it wasn't Bungie
egregious.
and Marathon stealing art from an artist. Am I
Oh, I
right?
know
Oh,
exactly, exactly. Uh
got
no,
him.
I totally agree with you,
Make
man.
that into
But
a short.
yeah. No, that's
Ouch.
funny. That's true, dude. That was a good burn. That was a good roast. But I mean, as far as pros and cons go, we got rid of some of the big ones. Are you cool with moving on to the next topic or?
Uh, yeah. I mean, we both had the yeah. I
Yeah,
did briefly touch on community feedback.
yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
I think the game is fine. I think the community is being a little toxic. I've been in the Discord a little bit. I need to get
Yeah.
out of there. Y'all
Yeah.
people are going overboard for no reason. This game is amazing, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
plenty of stuff to criticize. You're allowed to talk about it. Don't let me take away your voice or like try to push away your. If you're upset about the AI thing, be upset about the AI thing. Let us know in the comments. But like, I personally think that it's just like there are some people out there that are. I saw the Eurogamer article. Okay, that was ridiculous. Like giving the game a 2 because of AI voice
What?
acting. Yeah,
Oh
Eurogamer
my.
said the game was a 2 because of AI voice acting. That was the only reason they gave it. I'm like, yeah, you sucked at the game, so you wrote a bad review on like something controversial that you knew would get clicks. Like
Yeah, we didn't.
shut the hell up.
We,
If
we didn't.
I'm not really
Yeah.
talking about general people. I'm really just mad at Eurogamer guys. Let me clarify that now.
We
Eurogamer's
did.
upsetting.
We did a podcast episode where we talked about bad video game reviews, and that's something that we might need to revisit because Black Ops 7 just came out, and there have been a
Did you
couple
see
of.
that boss fight?
I did.
Sorry,
Okay, okay.
spoilers.
We're getting off topic, but I just wanted to bring up that
Yeah.
some people are actually with a serious straight face, presumably, are giving the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 campaign a high score or at even a mediocre score is criminal because that game is missing features. It requires online. It's 4 hours long. There's so many issues. But anyways, I don't want to get too off topic,
Yeah,
but we
wait
might
till
have to revisit that because it's
IG
pretty bad.
ignorant makes their review on Call of Duty. Oh, sorry, throwing
I'm
shade.
scared. But
JT does not condone
anyways,
any words that I
yeah.
say against companies. Okay.
No, but it's very valid. It was very valid criticism because that is just criminal, criminal. Anyways,
Actually, true.
so yeah, those were some of our pros and cons. We had a lot of positive things to say. We have a little bit of feedback to give the devs, but now looking toward the future of Arc Raiders, you mentioned how they plan to support this game for 10 years, and they're already starting off strong with a new event, new map, new equipment,
And we
new
get
free
another
battle
one in
pass,
December. We get another event in
and we're getting
December,
more.
and the new Raider deck, which is basically like the battle pass. It's similar to how
Yeah.
Helldiver's works, and some other stuff. There's more stuff
Yes.
coming.
And all the stuff that affects gameplay, absolutely free to earn. You just have to play the game essentially.
Yes.
But is there anything in particular that you'd like to see them tackle?
You brought it up as a negative that it doesn't exist, so I'll talk about that first. The
Yeah,
customization
let's
of the
do it.
hideout room, which, by the way, if you
Yes.
didn't know,
Yes.
you can put little
Yes.
trinkets in your like in your stash, and they show up in your room, but only the trinkets.
Yeah.
But like you can't like customize it. It's kind of just like randomly played. I wish you could like customize your room and do some cool stuff with it. That's a big thing in Tarkov is being able to customize your hideout. I know the
Yeah.
devs actually, I don't have any proof of this. It's just rumor. The devs have apparently heard this, and also heard the ones from one of the things that you want to see from the game, JT, and
Yeah.
they are considering it, so it could happen. But let's hear what you want. Let's hear what you want.
Yeah, yeah. Going back to the customization of the hideout briefly,
Yeah,
I like because when they were talking about the game and how you'd have stuff in your hideout and you could see your best weapons, you could see stuff that you collect. They were very vague because they didn't give specifics, and it's understandable why, because they kind of just appear, like you said, around the hideout room, right? You
yeah.
you don't really know. It's just kind of random what you have. It'll be put on there. It's cool enough, but I find myself selling a lot of the trinkets because you barely notice it when it's in your room.
There's
You
not
need to
enough
have like a
There's not
lot.
enough stash space for the trinkets.
Correct. That too. That's a big issue. Like, why would you want to keep it when you need necessary items, like you said? But on top of that, it's like they're placed randomly. You know, you're the only one that can really see it, right? So they got to come up with a way where other people can take a look at it, and they got to come up with a way you can kind of move it in places, you
Yeah.
know, and maybe just another unlockable that you can earn, right? Something to unlock to put.
Yeah, another
in your
thing for
hideout.
progression too. Like,
Yeah.
what if I had to build my room? Like how we
Yeah.
put materials toward the expedition. Like if I had to
Yeah.
build out my room, build shelves, if I built a shelf, maybe I can put stuff on it that I customize, and it doesn't take up room in my stash. If I put it on the shelf, it stays on the shelf. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I haven't played too much Outlast Trials, but in Outlast Trials, it's an online live service
Mm.
game, and you part of the progression is unlocking stuff for your room, which you can customize, adding posters, where to put the posters. You can add wallpaper, you can add different like floor
That's exactly what it's
patterns,
like in
tiles.
Tarkov too. Literally floor tiles,
Yeah,
roof tiles,
yeah,
posters, shelves to put your
mirrors.
trophies. Yeah,
Yeah, mirrors, like lamps and
yeah.
stuff. Like it's really cool. Like it's so simple. It's like pointless in the grand scheme of things, but if you want your thing to look nice and you want to show off to your friends, you can do that in Outlast Trials. So
Hmm.
that'd be really cool to add to Arc Raiders. But you hinted at it before, but I would love to see a social hub. I'm not the first person to say this. I know a lot of people are asking Embark to allow us to walk around Speranza, kind of in the same vein as the Tower in Destiny, where people can kind of just roam around, even if it wasn't as big as the Tower, because multiple people can be in there. It's like an MMO, right?
Even if
But
it's just your
yeah,
friends, I was saying this
even if it's
before.
just your lobby,
Even if it's
yeah,
just your friends,
yeah,
like you're playing with
yeah,
the people that are queued up, it would be cool to run
correct.
around and be like, "Oh, let me check out your hideout." Like maybe there's an apartment complex and you can like walk up
Yes,
there and it's all
yes,
your homies on your friends list. You can visit their house. Like that would just be
yes,
super simple. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I think it would be more simple than creating like an online lobby with like random people.
correct,
But I don't know a whole
correct,
lot about game dev. That's just my assumption. But like even that
correct,
would be better, I think, than what we got. Like they put
correct.
so much effort into explaining Speranza, and it's such a focal point of the story. And I can't even.
Yeah,
I only get like a top down view of it from like the main menu. I want to see it. I want to walk
I know.
around and hang out with Lance, bro. My
Yeah,
homie sitting in the chair all alone in the medical room.
no, I know. I want to hang out with my girl Celeste, bro.
Yeah,
Come on. No,
Celeste,
but
the
no,
seed baddie.
no, but for real though, dude, like you only see that one
Yeah.
viewpoint of Speranza, and it's a little bit disappointing in that regard. Granted, it's not the biggest of deals, but it's just
No,
like
it's
another
not
quality
huge.
of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just another quality of life we would like to see.
Psycho
But
Frontier had a hub, like the tower,
yeah,
and that game
it's
shut down
doable.
after 2 months. I missed that game.
Yeah, dude, some games they don't deserve to go out the way they do, but no, that is definitely a cool quality of life thing that they could add in the future. I remember when No Man's Sky was so bare bones, and yet now you can customize your ship even more. You can customize your base. You can
That game
customize
also
stuff
has a
on
player hub
yeah,
too.
correct. So they added that. That's like
Yeah, it
post
could happen.
game. Yeah, it's totally doable. So and it 10 years, dude. But I hope with the rate that they're updating the game, could come sooner.
Yep.
But do you have anything else that you'd like to see? I mean, the social hub for me, and then I totally agree with you on the hideout.
You brought up story
Um,
cutscenes. I definitely want. I want more
yes,
story. I want more cutscenes. I want more of that.
yes,
I do. This is the first game of this genre experience where I've actually like read the codexes and I read the quest dialogue because one, it helps me figure out where the quest item is.
yeah,
Believe it or not, Tarkov doesn't do that. But
yeah,
like, I also just
yeah.
find this story so interesting. Did you know that this is the third apocalypse we're going through right now as humanity? Spoiler alert!
I
The story is
heard.
so good. The story is actually so good, and I feel like we're only scratching the surface with what they could do. I want more cutscenes. I want more story-driven content. I don't care about the haters. Put a skip button in the cutscene for all I care. I want to watch it. I want to watch
Oh,
the Arc Raiders
agreed.
movie. Okay,
Yeah,
this is
why
for
not?
me.
Yeah, no, seriously, no. I'm sure a lot of people are have your sentiment because when they were talking about how they got they took out a wave of Arc Raiders, right? They took not Arc Raiders. They took out a wave of Arcs just for them to kind of retaliate in stronger and bigger numbers, right?
Yeah,
I remember that being a cutscene.
we are in the
And I was like,
second wave. That this isn't really a spoiler. This is in the codex.
yeah,
This we're
yeah,
actually in the second wave of the Arc attacking. The first wave is like all the traders, their parents were the fighters that liberated the planet from the first wave of arcs. All those husks that you see scattered about, that was from the first great battle
yeah.
of raiders versus arcs. So like
Yeah,
there's so much world building,
there
so much to
is.
discover. If you run around, there's secret stuff everywhere. Like
Dude,
one of my favorite
that
things
tiny
on
glimpse.
spaceport is like when you go to the entrance of the spaceport and there's all these cars littered about, those are people that didn't make it onto the
Yeah,
spaceships. That like, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but people fled Earth on spaceships. That's why there's so much space tech everywhere.
yeah.
And if you go to spaceport, there's a bunch of cars like lined up, like they didn't make it onto the spaceships. And those, if you put two and two together, those are our ancestors. Those are the people that didn't make it onto the spaceship. It's like
Dude,
the environmental storytelling is incredible, on par of Tarkov, because Tarkov really nails that too. This game did so much, and I want them to do more. You know, they have it
yeah,
in.
dude, that tiny glimpse of seeing a little bit of what happened in the first wave and how humanity thought they had a massive W only to find out that there would be a second wave, right?
Yep.
That little glimpse, that little voice acting, that little cutscene, I wanted so much more of it. And they
Yeah.
just they dangled a little piece of fruit, in front of my
Dude, there's
face.
a
And
cutscene later.
yeah.
Spoilers. JT, you've already seen this cutscene, but I'm gonna remind you of
Okay.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Spoilers. Skip the next 2 minutes. There's a cutscene where, like, you know those little lidar scanners you put down.
Yeah.
There's a cutscene where like one of them detects Earth tremors, and it's like, what the heck was that? And people like even Shawnee has been like, I don't know what's going on with the lidar scanners. They're picking up something far off in the distance that's like causing earthquakes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
if you look in the background of some of these maps, I don't know if you've noticed, there's like giant robots marching around, like
Yeah. I
way
have
bigger
seen
than even the Queen and the Matriarch.
I'm so
I'm like,
excited.
are we gonna have to fight those things? That would
Probably.
be
Which
insane.
probably, and I'd be really hyped for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something
No,
that
dude.
like really got me hyped. I want more. I want more content.
Dude, it reminds me of Helldivers 2, where they tease stuff like just around the world. Like, remember the blue light
Yeah.
for the Illuminate? I was like, what the heck is that?
I
Right?
think they're doing that a lot in this game too, because I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but when you go to Stellamontis, there's snow. Like when you look around, there's a little bit of snow, and that's literally the next event that's coming in December. Is they're gonna add the snow thing. So like
Yeah.
they've been hinting at stuff. Like if you go on Dam, you can find volcanic rocks, and then if you look on the in-game map, there's actually a place on the volcano in the in-game map that's circled, and I'm like, that's gonna be the next map. I'm predicting that now. I'm like,
I love when devs
they're
do
they're
that.
hinting at this stuff. It's coming.
Yeah.
I know it's coming.
Yeah. I love when devs do that. And it's
Put
not
my
like,
tinfoil hat on. I'm
yeah,
not crazy.
it's not like there's no content to like munch on right now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there's
There's
so
so much
much.
content. There's so much, and then the fact that they're adding more, like I told you before, but I couldn't believe that the new map has already arrived. Like I feel like there's still a lot for me to explore in this game. I know you're pretty deep into the end game essentially, but there's so much to do.
Yeah. Even right now,
Um,
I still have stuff to do. I need goop. I need to get some loot.
yeah, man, and just the grind, the loop, so addictive. But
Yeah.
another thing I'd like to see, and this is such a small thing too, but there's a rooster that kind of collects resources for you, just kind of as you play the game. And I'd like for you to be able to change the animal. It's a rooster right now, but like, could you make it a dog? Could you find a wolf or something?
Not
Like, I think it'd be kind of cool.
disrespecting my boy Scrappy. He works hard, and you want another one?
No, roosters. I mean, they're all right. You can customize Scrappy, but it'd be cool if you had some other pet companions. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I think it's hilarious. By the way, when you're playing the game, listen, listen when you're playing the game. You can actually hear Scrappy like doing his rooster call in the background sometimes. And
Oh,
I'm-
that's funny.
yeah, like when you're just running around, he'll be like, and I'll be like, that's Scrappy. He's getting me loot.
Do you know why it's a rooster?
I think it might have something to do with like just the cultural location. We're in Spain, So the game takes
Yeah.
place in Spain. It's actually like a flipped version of Spain. I was deep diving this last night. It's Spain but turned left 1 degree, and Portugal, like Buried City, is where Portugal would be basically.
Yeah.
Like if you were to do 1-to-1 comparison. Although in the lore, it's stated that it's been so many years that like even like the lands have shifted around, so the places that you're kind of familiar with aren't 1-to-1
Might
to
not be the
like our
same.
world. Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
different, which leaves them room to like do their own thing and be like, oh yeah, this is like a fictional place that doesn't exist in real life, you know.
Yeah. No, they've talked about how humanity, there are barely any humans around, right?
Hmm.
So it'd be really interesting to see another faction or something appear. If we explore outward, it's 10 years. So, that'd be crazy if another country showed up,
I was about to
or
spoil something. Just play
but
the
okay.
campaign. Play the campaign a little
Speaking of the narrative, though, speaking of the narrative, we won't go too far into it, but have you heard some of the theories regarding people that left?
Yes, one of the big things that I think. Well, let's hear what you think. What you think?
Okay, well, I watched this YouTube content creator. Shout out to Eckhart's Ladder. I really like the guy's content, but
Yeah,
he made a lore video, and basically, a lot of people's theory is that the people who left the planet, like maybe centuries ago, I think,
I think it
they
was.
left.
Yeah, it's a couple centuries.
Yeah, a couple centuries ago, they left the planet, and then that's why there's a bunch of space tech around here. But some theories, if you back out now, if you don't want to hear any, but some people think that the arcs are being sent from above, like the people who
They
left the
are.
planet.
They are sent from
You
above,
think, okay,
but
are they
no,
confirmed?
no.
I
Okay,
thought
so
it was
like
a theory. Okay.
when the arcs spawn, they literally fall from the sky.
They fall from the sky,
Yeah.
right? That's one of the big things. Also, they're not completely like alien either. Like they're very much, they look like something humans could make, I feel like.
Yes. Yes and
Like they're
no.
drones, like they're flying around, and
Hmm.
and then they resemble like spiders and like stuff that
I
we
will
we,
say, I
we
feel like we're getting
yeah.
more hints toward that same theory. I've heard it too. If you actually read the lore, it's not obvious, but I feel like the story's pointing in that direction. I'm ready for us to be bamboozled. Maybe there'll be some twist on it. But
Okay, but okay, if it is or isn't, okay, let's just hypothetically say that is the case. Are you disappointed? Are you
no,
on
not
board?
disappointed. I think it's sick.
Okay. I think it's really cool. And if they actually do not do that and they do something else, I'm inclined to be disappointed unless they
I
do
don't think
something
so either.
insane.
When you get to
Yeah.
Stella Montes, you'll so not I'm trying not to spoil stuff here, but when you go to that
Yeah.
map, it even in the trailer for it, it says that the place is unusually cleaned. It's been untouched, but for some reason the Ark are there, right? And someone sealed the
Yeah.
tunnel. The whole point of us doing that whole event was to unseal the tunnel.
The humans made
Someone
it in there.
someone sealed the tunnel, and
Humans
by the
made them.
way, when you go in there, I'm not gonna spoil all these new items,
Yeah.
but there's like
Yeah.
literally a dozen new items, and it's all like modernized technology. Wink, wink, nudge. It's fucking
Yeah.
like someone's been there recently. Potentially, is like what the
Yeah.
game is hinting at, and it's
Yeah.
like
I
it's
feel I
very
feel like
interesting.
if they do not go the route of the people that left want to take back the earth and for whatever reason they need the arcs to do it, if they do not go that route, I feel like I would be disappointed, but it just depends
By
on
the way,
how
the
they.
Ark, the reason they're even there in the first place is for surveying. Like when they send the probes down during those events, they're sampling the terrain, and like if you read on the Great Collapse, the reason people left Earth in the first place was because of an ecological disaster, right?
Yeah.
And so all of the Ark, if you notice, many of their purposes are for testing, like habitability or like mineral samples or like when you loot in certain areas, like there's a lot of surveyors that hang around like green and lush environments, right? It's almost like they're trying to it gives me Wall-E vibes, you know what I mean? Like maybe they're sending robots down to Earth, scanning the planet to see if it's habitable, and they realize like, oh, there's people survived down there. You know what I mean? And they're like, we can't go habitate with these barbarians. That's my theory. It's like,
Yeah. I think so. And I
yeah.
think that'd be really
I think
cool.
that's where the story's going. That's not a spoiler. That's just like my theory.
theory. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm inclined to agree with you on that. I think that'd be amazing. Like a Wall-E, like you mentioned,
yeah.
could be really awesome. Although I am a sucker for aliens, right? So if they somehow make it aliens, I'd be like, I'd be curious, but obviously it would just depend on how they do it.
If they did
Like
aliens,
I
bro,
said,
you know people would hate that. They'd be like, "Really? Come on again?" Yeah, it can't be
but
aliens.
if it's like something that man like humans created, then people could argue Terminator, but it is quite different than anything we've seen before. So, um, yeah, oh, dude. But other than that, I mean, we basically covered all our bases. We
Yeah,
covered stuff that we liked, stuff that we didn't like, that we want to see improved, and stuff we kind of hope to see in the future, as well as our experience with Arc Raiders. But do you have anything else to add before we conclude?
yeah. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, man, we love this game. We could talk about it forever, but now it's time to grind. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to our latest episode about Arc Raiders. Tyler's on vacation right now. He will be back soon, and we have plenty of stuff to talk about. A little sneak preview, but we're going to be talking about some games that all three of us really love and kind of like the future of it. I won't tell you what games they are, but Justin, we've talked about those games in the pod before, right?
Yep,
You're pretty excited.
I'm pretty happy about that. Not
Yeah,
happy with the current state of some of them.
we're happy that we're gonna like
Yeah.
roast the hell out of it in the future.
Hint, hint, nudge,
Potentially,
nudge.
hint, nudge, nudge.
It
We
was a
talked about
big.
it
It was
plenty.
a really bad week for both fandoms of these franchises.
Yeah, yeah, yep. And Tyler will love. I mean, I'm sure Tyler will be happy to be a part of that conversation because we got to get him to play Arc Raiders. He hasn't played Arc Raiders. He's been a
True.
busy
He's
guy
not gonna play
too.
the game.
He can, man. The twins, the guys we've had them on the pod
Dude,
before, I believe.
Derek, he's been watching me play Tarkov like on and off for like a year now, and he's like, finally,
Yeah,
I get to play a game that I actually really like and have been wanting to play with you, and I'm so happy for him. I
I
just feel
know,
bad that
dude.
we're always full. We have full lobbies every day.
Yeah, dude. Another thing they could add, expanding the party sizes somehow, some way. I don't
I
know,
don't
but
know.
t-
I don't know about fighting a
yeah,
6-man squad. That would be kind of
no,
stupid.
yeah, no. Like maybe add some different modes or map specific things where it's mostly co-op. I've seen some cool ideas thrown around, but I mean that would be
Yeah.
one excuse to expand the party. But no, dude, I love the crossplay, man. There's no
Mhm.
limitations in this game. I love it. But we could talk about this game all day. But thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yep. Back
Have
to
a good one.
Speranza, JT.